event where we gather to recognize two extraordinary individuals, Mr. Joseph Perez and Mr. Echeverria Chun. For exemplary acts of bravery. Please join me in welcoming our Attorney General, Douglas Moylan, who will be delivering today's opening remarks. Attorney General.
Good good morning. You know, this is the third and the fourth recognition of Mr. Perez and Mr. Echeverria, Mr. Perez and Mr. Chun. And I welcome you to this satellite office for the Attorney General's office. I'm here on behalf of our clients, which is all of you out there. And I think that's important that we gather here today, given the information that I was made aware of based upon police reports that daily come into our office. And I send a special thank you to the police officers and our brethren law enforcement that are here today. I also want to make a special thank you for Thomas Iriarte and Saturi Iriarte, who are the parents of Echeverria Chun, who are one of the two people that we're recognizing today. This gathering is important for the people of Guam because it's showing exactly what our community needs more of. Like the first two Good Samaritan Awards, this award reinforces the positivity that we have in our community. Not everybody's a drug addict. Not everybody is committing crimes out there. But unfortunately, at the AG's office, that's what we see a lot of every day. We try to believe in the goodness of people, and it's people like Mr. Perez and Mr. Chun that show us the goodness that is in our community. That goodness that the Guam Visitors Bureau, that goodness that we talk about in our island of Guam, and the strength that we have as a melting pot of many different nationalities in this community of ours. So often we see in the newspapers the people arrested, the victims, the people that are victimized or whose lives are changed because of misconduct of those in our community. We don't get enough headlines of the Good Samaritans out there. And if any of you knew, and I had to actually refresh my memory about the Good Samaritan parable, comes from the Bible. Talks about the Good Samaritan that sees a person who was actually robbed. I thought it was appropriate because in this case, Mr. Perez's case dealt with a woman that was actually robbed. What's also important about the Good Samaritan Award is it gives us all a sense of what goodness is. Teachers can teach things in their classes, but it's people like Mr. Chun and Mr. Perez that actually show us what is goodness. And again, when I say this, and again, this is a bit of an interesting award ceremony today, because we have a whole fleet of law enforcement officers from the Guam Airport Authority that actually assisted and showed us what 24/7 means for we in law enforcement. That you don't put down your responsibilities, you don't put down your guns, you don't put down your duty to protect those of us in the community. So I'm honored and humbled by the fact that I have so many Guam Airport police officers that were directly involved in the actual protection of we in the community, our crime victims. That's a very big thing in the Attorney General's office, is to recognize the end equation of what punishment is intended for. You know, as a community, our laws are not structured to hurt people or to lock them away at DOC. Our laws are structured to protect every one of us and our loved ones. It doesn't matter whether they're black, white, Chamorro, Caucasian, Filipino, Chuukese, Palawan. It protects us all. And the message that I'm sending out today is that we need to promote, recognize, and teach our children and the rest of us what to do when we see a fellow person, a fellow man or woman that's in distress. And that's been one of the standards for the now 4 individuals we recognize as Good Samaritans. I also was smiling when I was reading the reports because, one of them actually dealt with chivalry. We don't hear that word very often in our communities these days, but I think that as when we read the resolutions, you're going to see what chivalry meant. And I was smiling when I saw it because the person actually puts his life on the line. One of the other positivities that I want to promote today to everybody is the fact that we have 19 villages and that every village has its Good Samaritans and its heroes within them. We have a good community. And like my younger friends and staff in our office, passing it forward, that seems to be the current type of motif out there. The idea that because of your good action, and people seeing your good action, and I thank the media for covering these events, other people will be inspired by what you've done and then pass it forward. So I think that was another theme that Mr. Chun and Mr. Perez have taught us. And me being from an older generation, I think it's good for our younger generation to recognize you don't have to have a law degree, you don't have to have a high school degree to be a Good Samaritan in our community. You don't have to be anything but just a desire to help your fellow person, your fellow man, your fellow woman. So it's with those words that I thank you for being here today and this opportunity that Mr. Perez and Mr. Chun have given me as an Attorney General to focus on some positivity in our community as opposed to a lot of the negativity and the stress and the anxiety that our office has to go through in order to help our crime victims. So at that, I guess we'll continue with our program. So we'll start with the resolutions. So if we can, all of Mr. Perez. So under AG resolution number GS 3-24, relative to presenting the Attorney General of Guam's Good Samaritan Award to Mr. Joseph Perez for his selfless act of assisting a crime victim by following and reporting to police a suspect in a robbery. I would like to call up Joe Guthrie, my Chief Deputy, as well as our crime victim advocates. Can you please come up in front? These are the ladies that are helping us daily in the protection of our crime victims. So be it resolved by the Attorney General of Guam, whereas on September 23, 2024, Mr. Joseph Perez of Manila manifested the essence of a Good Samaritan through actions he made that day. And whereas much like the parable of the Good Samaritan, Mr. Joseph Perez, refusing to be an idle bystander, helped a crime victim of a robbery and quickly sprung into action to ensure the arrest of a man wanted by law enforcement. And whereas Mr. Joseph Perez witnessed a strong armed robbery at a Manila convenience store where a woman had been harassed and assaulted by the suspected robber, taking with him the woman's wallet containing more than $2,000 worth of cash and valuable credit cards. And whereas Mr. Joseph Perez swiftly acted to identify and follow the suspected robber who had fled the scene by car by driving his personal vehicle to follow the person and called the police, once able to do so, informing GPD where to find the suspected robber. And whereas Mr. Joseph Perez's act of selflessness and courage resulted in the quick and decisive arrest of the suspected robber for the commission of theft, robbery, family violence, and assault, bringing safety to our community. And whereas Mr. Joseph Perez's action serves as a shining example to us all that each one of us can make our island community a safer place to live for all of us and our loved ones. Now therefore be it resolved that the Attorney General of Guam does hereby recognize and commend Mr. Joseph Perez for his actions and presents this resolution as a recipient of the AG's Good Samaritan Award on behalf of our client, we the people of Guam, and our staff for Mr. Joseph Perez's selfless act of apprehending a man sought after by law enforcement, resulting in the man's arrest and contributing to the overall protection and safety of we the people of Guam. Executed in Hagåtña, Guam on the 17th day of October 2024. Mr. Perez, on behalf of our people and our client, thank you. Just a token of something to put on your. Also, certificate to go along with the resolution. Yes, you're worth it. First is one L. Speech.
Testing. I see a lot of my fellow employees in the airport. They're right here. I don't like to point things, but to my comrades over here, I have. I'm going to make a very important issue here. And I'm going to be honest. Things in life is very rough in this island. We got a great problem in our island. And you guys know what I'm talking about. I've been all around this island. I passed from a government to Assam, to Anigua, which is Adilu, to Assam, to PD, Sumai, up to heading to the Mobile, going to Agat. Let's hit Agat. Agat is a sad village. If I ever seen a village in my whole life. It's a disaster. And I feel bad. I feel very bad. I'm very unhappy of what I see in our life. This is a paradise of Saint Thomas. This is the Saint Thomas. I went to every church, the 19th village, every church in every village. And I went in that church and I lit a candle. I lit a candle and I knelt down and I prayed. Every village, 19 of them. If I miss one, maybe I'll add another 20. I'll add one more to make it 20. I don't know if there's anything, but there's Santa Ana going up that hill in Iowa, going towards Humana. You guys know what I'm talking about. And there's one in Zona. In the right side, when you're going down to supermarket, this small church. I went to those. And I kneel down and I prayed. We got a big problem in this side, very big problem. And I hope that every law enforcement pay attention to what I'm saying. We have to get all the CIDs, all the SWAT team, and all the canines, and all the law enforcement in this island, all the GPDs, all the firemen. We have to put ourselves together and clean this island up. Please, if we don't do this, our island is going to go down. Now, including all the people in the community, we are part of this approach. We have to help the turning. We have to. It's a must. Why? Because our island is turning into a disaster. It's unsatisfactory. My grade for it is unsatisfactory. It's DNF, doing fine. Doing fine, right? No, it's not. Look at the island. Go around the island and look at it. Every village. You guys are gonna know what I'm talking about. Our island is full of ice. If there's a will, there's a way. There's nobody on this earth, any human, who tell me that we cannot do it. We can do it. I'm one of them. If I see any abuse in this island by ice people that are smoking, and any drug, and the wrong thing about the marijuana, and it's no good, it should be turned down. It should not be legalized. Why? Because of the kids. You gotta think about our kids that are growing up. My grandkids. My 4 kids and my grandkids are gonna be contaminated. The marijuana should be reversed. It shouldn't be passed that it's legal here. It's a no-no. That's the biggest mistake that the residents in this island community made a mistake to pass it. And I don't care who we give. And I think that's adopted by, where's that speaker? The right next to me. I disapprove. Well, I'm just saying, this is my, I know I'm related to you, but it's nothing to do with you guys. Let me make myself clear. Speaker, I am a human, just like you are. I'm a from hell. I salute you 24/7. I will protect you 24/7. And everyone. I am planning to donate some money to the homeless. And I'm planning to activate some funding that I'm gonna feed the homeless. And this is gonna be true. It's gonna come from me. Mark my word. We got a lot of people that got contaminated by ice or any type of drugs that is no good. And look at our people. They're all walking all over the island. They're hungry. They're homeless. Their clothes look like coming out of a cave or under a car. People working under a car with no jacks on. I went down to Paga. I kind of toured that place. It's unsafe. Everywhere in this island, it's unsafe. Why is that? Because we let ourselves down.
You know, Mr. Perez, I think I need to make you my spokesperson.
Attorney General, let me be honest with you. Let me finish talking.
Sure.
Sir, I respect you. I salute you. And I know you. I know your wife. The first wife. I don't know how much wives you have. You're a real man.
You're the man.
But, no, let me just make everybody right. Okay? You are the man. It's about her. You know what? I'm saluting everybody, including the community. Sure. You know, I love what I do. I love it. And I look at everywhere that my car goes, watch it. I watch that kid, that kid. I'm not. It's unsettled. It's unsettled in my heart. Why? Because that's their fault. It's up to you as a leader. You're the only one that's gonna make yourself good. You're the only one that's gonna make yourself bad. Don't blame nobody. You have to have a strong mind. Because if you have your strong mind guides your body. And when I talk, I walk the talk. This is who I'm at. I'm gonna introduce myself. I'm a neutral person. That's one. Two, I'm a positive person. Three, I take all the negative and I throw it in the ocean. Why? Because I only take the good thing and apply it to my body. And I help it. I help a lot of people this time. I've been cheated a lot of money. I buy their parts. I'm a mechanic. I'm a real mechanic. I went to school in the mainland, Minnesota. I'm the airport every good mechanic. I thought that's my baby. If those trucks broke, they go. I got that broke. I sacrificed 24 hard months to go to school and better myself. And when I better myself, my number is one, not two. One. Am I correct, Marine? Thank you.
She heard it was going on, heard her name, and our vice speaker, who's our neighbor here, wanted to come over and to also honor Mr. Perez today.
Thank you very much, Manana Situs, to each and every one of you here, and to our Attorney General Moylan. Thank you for letting me share with you the opportunity as we continue to see the Good Samaritans in our island and the work that they do. It's not much, but it's a gift to remember what we've been blessed with our Heavenly Father, and that's this beautiful island, paradise in Guam, and anyone who wants to make a difference, to do good for our community and our island residents deserves all the praises that they can get. So, Attorney General, on behalf of the people of Guam and the program that you do to honor these awardees as Good Samaritans and for the good that they do to protecting our island of Guam, I'd like to have you share the privilege of pinning and sharing the pins with the honorees. So thank you. I understand there was two, but I know Mr. Perez is
So first one,
yes.
Madam Vice Speaker, may I have you make a cookie?
You again.
May
Is it for real?
Oh, thank you. Representative Ortiz.
The island of Guam, the seal of the island of Guam that represents all of us and who we are. Maasi si Dusan Benedisi u Agregesi, todo tu bedamo put Mali Benedi Islam, si Diyos Maasi si Dusan Benedisi.
Thank you.
I know you're a vice speaker, but now I'm gonna promote you to speaker. You are a speaker at the Guam legislature, am I correct? Yes, you are. I'm gonna call you speaker, not vice. I'm gonna correct that, I'll send you that. Before you're vice speaker, I'm promoting you to speaker. He's a speaker anyway. And I thank you. I'm gonna make this short. Speaker, I thank you for your time, and I thank you for everything that you do. Do you know that I'm your blood type?
Yes, I'm familiar with that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And have a nice day. one day, I will be joining you at Michelle's Coffee Shop one morning, so we can eat with you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. You know that restaurant?
Yes, sir.
I own that restaurant. I'm the boss. No, I'm not the owner, I'm the judge. But the owners, they love it.
Thank you, sir.
You know why they love it? Because of our day. I eat their food. I thank them.
Photo op. Can we do a photo op?
You stay with us?
Yes.
Please, thank you.
Did you please?
Yes.
Okay, no problem. We're gonna get it.
Exactly.
Out that part.
Thank you.
I need to do that.
Yes. So
We.
thank you, Mr. President. Why don't we extend the meeting? That's right.
Can we call in, Mr. Echeverria Chun? We're going to present the
PG Resolution Number GS 4-24, relative to presenting the Attorney General of Guam's Good Samaritan Award to Mr. Echeverria Chun for his courage by subduing a machete-wielding man in aid of others, thereby restraining him and contributing to the overall protection and safety of we, the people of Guam. Be resolved by the Attorney General of Guam. Whereas on the evening of September 8, 2024, Mr. Echeverria Chun of Jigo manifested the essence of a good Samaritan through acts of bravery and selflessness he made that day. And whereas, much like the story of the Good Samaritan, Mr. Echeverria Chun, while on a Tumon beach, along with others, immediately responded to women shouting for help, and upon coming to their aid, saw an intoxicated, machete-wielding individual holding at bay airport authority off-duty police officers. And whereas Mr. Echeverria Chun, without any hesitation and noticing an opportunity to subdue the machete-wielding man, jumped and tackled and successfully restrained the man by his arms and legs, ensuring that person was no longer a threat to others until the arrival of on-duty GPD officers. And whereas whilst lunging at the man, Mr. Echeverria Chun was struck by the man's machete, getting injured by that machete with a 1-inch laceration on Mr. Chun's forehead, which required 10 stitches. And whereas Mr. Echeverria Chun's courage and brave actions in helping at least 2 women apparently being threatened by this machete-wielding man, alongside others, put an end to further violence by this apparently violent man, and who has now been charged with the commission of aggravated assault, keeping our fellow residents and tourists safe in Tumon, and pushing back against would-be criminals from harming us. And whereas Mr. Echeverria Chun's great and admirable deed serves as a story of inspiration, showing that chivalry is well and alive in our community, and that any one of us can step up to care for our neighbors, most especially in times of distress, and make our island safer. Now therefore be it resolved that the Attorney General of Guam does hereby recognize and commend Mr. Echeverria Chun for his actions, and hereby presents this resolution as a recipient of the AG's Good Samaritan Award on behalf of our client, we the people of Guam, and our staff for Mr. Echeverria Chun's courageous act of stopping a machete-wielding man from harming others without any hesitation, restraining him in aid of law enforcement officers, and contributing to the overall protection and safety of we the people of Guam. Executed in Agana, Guam on the 17th day of October, 2024.
Little token, thank the Attorney General for this wonderful program that he's put together in order for to recognize the people who hold Guam near and dear to their hearts. So, congratulations and thank you for loving Guam and our community. God bless you.
I would be remiss if I did not also recognize Guam's finest with the airport police officers that are here. we have certificates for them as well. This was a very interesting fact pattern because we have our law enforcement that actually likewise responded with Mr. Chun, and it highlights the fact that law enforcement officers not only put their lives on the line, but do that 24/7. They were at the beach along with Mr. Chun and several others enjoying the evening when they came upon at least two ladies that were screaming for help from this armed assailant. So, having said that, shall I?
Can you please step forward if I call your name? Mr. Mark Bloss, Jr.
We're off island. Is Mr. Bloss present?
He's at an emergency right now. He's not here.
Okay, thank you.
Officer Brandy Charco. Officer Cameron Charco. Officer Damon Hoko.
He's off island.
Officer John Paul Milleri. Officer Joseph Mantanona. Officer Tommy Napati. Officer Kaylee Pinella. Officer Tiana Harris. Can we have everyone step up, please?
And we have also present the Lieutenant Chief Rick Rivera. Garcia. Oh, so shall we have?
Can we go ahead and have everyone step up so we can do a photo op?
So that will conclude our ceremonies today. And thank you for being here and for recognizing these Good Samaritans and heroes. We have the team.
Okay.